because I know John was using my
It's
classroom
all-
right now. I'm like, oh, I hope it doesn't stink.
Well, I can take my garbage out before I left on Friday, and I have lunch in there, that's good. Smell the whole office up. Out of recess.
So, do we want to table this? To think about, you know, you're asking about, you know, what might work, I don't know. What's the...
We can table it, but we're probably still gonna have the same opinion that we have right now.
Is the only way to address this in your mind, drawing that hard line? Athletic director cannot be a head coach or a coach, period?
I mean, I think that... I mean, yeah, I think it's a conflict of interest. I mean, I mean, that's kind of the bright line with it. It's a conflict of interest.
Okay.
And the fact that it also creates problems is kind of ancillary.
I think the problems are manageable. I think we can find a way around, a way to avoid the problems. I don't think we'll agree to putting that language in the master agreement. I don't see us doing that.
You know, at the same time, I'm making a list here of anything that like comes up today that maybe it doesn't go into the master agreement or whatever. Maybe we agree not to put it in there, like to try to address these things as things and recognize them. Now, the best I can, in this situation right here, you know, the best I can say is that I would have a meeting and talk about that in that evaluation of the AD. Like, because of your position, you know, you may or may not have, and in this case may, have like more leverage over kids. And it wouldn't be, and even if there is no leverage, it's still, as an AD, it wouldn't be appropriate to pressure kids one way or the other. And really, because of the scenario, you'd have to just let the chips fall where they fall. And rather than putting any sort of pressure on. Like, that's the best I can do right now. Yeah. And I would do that.
You know, but there's, I mean, we talk about, you know, the conflict of interest, like I said, is really the bright line thing. The problems that occur, those are, you know, those are things that I don't know how we would get, you know, if you're talking about things that you could bring forward, like, you know, I mean, I don't want to make it really personal. I mean, I can tell you everything that happened this year that was a problem, but I don't want to get into that. You know, it's not anybody's business.
That's
not the venue for it. Right. So, like, and that's not my interest. And again, if we're talking about a colleague that I like and appreciate.
Sure. I guess what I mean is, like, I can do what I can to have the AD, whoever is in that position at the time, if they were coaching, to go out of their way to avoid what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's more, and like I said, and with the conflict of interest, it's more things like, you know, prioritizing getting hotel rooms or, you know, these sort of things that are, the job of the AD has to come before the coaching job if that's going to be something that is
Right.
allowed. And that's where the problem lies with the conflict of interest, in part. So it's not necessarily even, you know, we can talk about, you know, the kids' interests and all that.
I mean, even those things, like, those are all things that,
I mean, they are things
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
contribute, but I think the bigger issues and the reason why it becomes a conflict of interest is that inherently, if you're a coach, you're putting your sport first, and that makes it difficult to manage the duties of athletic director. So I would concede that we can take it out this year, but I'm not gonna, you know, but I'm gonna look at this year and see,
Right.
you know, is this something that is being addressed, you know, or is this, you know, merely lip service?
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be confrontational about it, because like I said, we're talking about a colleague that I like and respect.
Sure.
But it's been a year, so. So if we're ready to go on to 4.6. So again, this is something that the elementary school teachers have talked about. And I don't know if it needs to be addressed in the master agreement. I can understand both. I can understand why you would not want to, in part because you don't necessarily want a exact money amount necessarily put in there, and I get that. So I feel like I sound like I'm not really advocating for them, but I am. I want to say that I do think that receiving a $500 budget for an elementary school classroom per year is a very reasonable allotment, and they've asked for this, and I think it's a reasonable request.
In the past, they've had budgets. We're just asking for JES for the budget, not for high school teachers. We're okay not having it in the master agreement.
Yeah, we already talked about this last night briefly, and it's kind of, it's there basically, isn't it?
Is it open to all the teachers, or is it one of the, like, based off of?
we thought it was already $500 per teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they order supplies, Denise puts it in, and we go ahead and just get whatever it is.
Okay.
Okay.
But
It's not.
go ahead.
I'm wondering if it may need to be articulated to the teachers,
That's what I
that
was
though,
gonna say.
because I think that they're under the impression that some of them are under the impression that it's only available to certain teachers.
No.
But that's, I'm not saying
do
that
it.
I think that. I'm
We'll do
saying
it.
I
We'll
know
just tell
that.
them.
Yeah,
Assuming we're in a year where the elementary supply budget, they can do that, we'll do it.
yeah, that'd be fine.
That's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, just articulate it. I mean, because like my budget is not in here. I'm fine with it.
Right.
Yeah,
But at the very least, this is a way to bring this stuff up.
I don't want a budget because then I can't ask for extra things.
I could always use a bigger budget. In a room, put it in. and then you got a
I
room.
just want all the books in the world.
You start putting,
All of them.
All of my Amazon cards.
start putting all my toys in Callie's room. I want that wing,
Yeah, that's a little.
McDowell wing. You just knock the door out between the two classrooms. Wow. Which one were we on? 4.
That was more.
6.
can we take a brief caucus on this one real quick?
Sure. 6:25?
Yeah.
Okay.
To make things go faster.